Jones, and he'll be joined by Dutch Renard, who will be at first base. Randy Marsh will be the umpire at second, and Dana DeMuth will be the umpire at third. You know, the interesting thing about
Live from Riverfront Stadium, it's opening day 1987. Today it's the Montreal Expos versus the Cincinnati Reds. Today's game is brought to you by Budweiser. Beechwood Age for that clean, crisp taste. This Bud's for you. And by Toyota, who offers a full line of 1987 cars and trucks. Who could ask for anything more? And by Long John Silver's Seafood Shop. Long John Silver's sounds good to me. And by Delta Airlines, serving more than 150 cities worldwide. Delta gets you there with care. A new beginning in Cincinnati, Ohio, the start of another baseball season as the Reds kick it all off this afternoon, taking on Buck Rogers and the Montreal Expos. Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Marty Brenneman. So pleased to have you with us as we bring the curtain up on another baseball season. And when it comes to openings, I take a back seat to the two guys I had the pleasure of working with, Joe Nuxall and Johnny Bench. Johnny, you've been around for a few. Is it still exciting?
Well, it is, and I'm glad I'm up here. I did not like opening days. I always felt like, let's get it out of the way. Let's get the season on the road because it was the toughest day of the year for the catchers. He had to call a good ball game. He couldn't think about hitting. He had to make sure if he had all these tickets, and let's just get the thing. Is my apartment all right and everything else? I was very happy to get opening day out of the way. It was exciting, but usually for the people watching the parade.
Joe, you've been around the opener since Abner Doubleday invented this baseball game. How about you? Is it exciting for you?
It always is, Marty. Regardless how you prepare for the opener, it's still exciting because baseball in Cincinnati is the beginning of all of baseball, and particularly for each season. Not today, though, but in the United States. But it's a great thrill. It's something that you try to cast off, but you just can't. And I know I talked to Buddy Bell, and he said, this is the longest 3 hours in my life, opening day.
Well, the 3 hours are almost up. The weather conditions could be a lot better, but we'll take what we can get as the Reds and the Expos prepare to get this 87 baseball season underway. We'll be back to get it started. The Reds against Montreal from Riverfront right after this. Producers for Cincinnati Reds baseball are Lou Rinoni and Roy Alford. Director Roy Alford. Network coordinator Dick Mort. Cincinnati Reds baseball is a special presentation of multimedia sports. And the 1987 baseball season officially underway as Alonzo Powell has been called out on strike. Left-hander Tom Browning off to a rousing start here at Riverfront as he punches out the leadoff batter, rookie left fielder Alonzo Powell. A big, big day for Tom Browning, Johnny Bench. The first time he's ever pitched an opener, and I know he said last night, I'll have trouble sleeping tonight.
Well, I think he had trouble sleeping, but he seemed very calm down in the clubhouse. He really looked forward to it. I think this is a great honor to be selected, even though Mario was unable to be here.
He goes to work on right fielder Mitch Webster. That's ball one.
One thing about him, he always works fast, which I think helps him in a lot of ways because he doesn't have to sit back and stew what he's going to throw all the time.
And it helps the defense, too, doesn't it?
Oh, I'd love to have this guy to keep pitching on a day like this. Opening day, you got adrenaline anyway. You're always on the edge, and you don't want to sit back and, will he throw the ball or not? You're always on your toes, and it's a quick game, especially on your side of the defense.
1-1 pitch hit deep into left field. Daniels going back, and 1-0 Montreal. As Mitch Webster jumps on the 2-0 pitch from Tom Browning and rides it out of here to left, and Montreal scores very, very quickly.
Well, a switch hitter and an outfielder, he is playing right field. He usually is a center fielder, but they have required Reed Nichols, and Nichols and Winningham will switch off in center field. And the youngster, I really like him. I like his speed. I think he does just a great job. They said he played right field. There's a ball right out over the plate. He missed with the first two pitches. He tried to off-speed him. Then he had to come back with that fastball. And opening day, you're just sitting there waiting on one pitch and hope he throws it. Mitch Webster got it.
Now, Tom Browning's susceptible to giving up the long ball. That's been a pattern for him in his 2 years in the big leagues, and it doesn't take him long to serve up one to begin a new baseball season. Here's Andres Galarraga, the Montreal first baseman. He's also a young man with an awful lot of power, as he exhibited Saturday afternoon on our telecast from Nashville's Greer Stadium. He had a tremendous home run over the left field fence in that game. 2-1 the count on the first baseman. Powell has struck out. Webster has homered. And Browning going to work on Andres Galarraga.
Mitch now leads the National League in home runs and RBI.
Yes, he does. 3-1. The early leader in the clubhouse, Mitch Webster.
I don't think it'll hold up.
And the count full on Galarraga, 3-2.
Well, what you need is, you got your control working there. You see, well, that's Hubie Brooks standing there on deck circle. But if you got your control, you need an umpire that will call those corners. Then you can really start working, especially for Browning.
3-2 pitch, and that'll be out of play. The first souvenir of the season for a fan down the right field line, and it holds at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
You're going to be able to test Browning right here. See if he's willing to use his off-speed pitches in this particular situation, 3-2.
Galarraga hanging in there.
He's got the confidence to throw the off-speed pitches. That's what you look for, and if he has that confidence, then he left spring training in good shape and mentally wants to start this season. He knows he has the confidence to throw those pitches. He had a real good outing his last time out in spring, Marty.
Yes, he certainly did. Back with a payoff pitch. Davis. Nice job to cut it off, but he'll not be able to keep Galarraga from going to second base with a 2-base hit. So Tom Browning started big, but since the strikeout has served up a home run and now a 2-base hit by that man, Andres Galarraga.
Tom Browning, you see him just a little bit of panting there. He's got worked up. In fact, he's got a sweat working up right now. That means he's pitching fast, and of course there's a little humidity out there, even though the weather is cool.
Montreal cleanup batter, shortstop Hubie Brooks, had a splendid year in 1986 and was among the league leaders in a number of offensive categories until being put down with a finger problem that when he returned, he was never the same again. But they say they've gotten that straightened out, and that's the kind of numbers that Brooks posted last year. 1 run in, 1 man on, 1 man out, top half of the first inning. 1 ball, 1 strike. Browning, of course, got out of the gate in 1986, 0-4. And the major problem was that Tom got away from pitching inside, and that's a very vital part of a lot of pitchers' repertoires, is it not, John?
Well, you better establish yourself inside, because those hitters start leaning out over the plate. Then your off-speed pitch becomes less effective because everything is away. So you're striding in on it, and you can stay back and wait a little bit longer. Tom pitched a lot of hard luck. He was 14-9 after those starts, but in like 11 ball games, he gave up 2 earned runs or less, and he had 8 no decisions and 3 losses. That's hard luck.
That's tough. He strikes out Brooks.
Well, he's either striking them out or they're hitting it hard off of him.
Indeed, it is either feast or famine as we take a look at the Montreal batting order.
Well, Alonzo Powell was the leadoff hitter. Mitch Webster hit the home run, and then Galarraga, he got the double. There's Powell right there, a young kid they say has got plenty of power. Webster, switch hitter, playing right field, usually a center fielder. Galarraga, the big cat at first base. Now you see the cleanup hitter, Hubie Brooks, the shortstop, like Ernie Banks used to be.
And it's Tim Wallach batting in the number 5 spot as he fouls this one out of play.
Well, there you see Tim Wallach, the third baseman with a real good hands and good power. We saw him hit a home run in Nashville. Following him in the order, Vance Law, the second baseman, made only 3 errors in 90-some ball games at second base. Jeff Reed, well, he came over in the trade from Minnesota that they gave up Jeff Reardon. Reed Nichols, they picked him up just a couple of days before the end of spring training.
Here's a long drive. Davis again tested along with Parker, and neither able to come up with it as Montreal dents the plate for the second time in the inning. And it's been either feast or famine for both the Expos and for Tom Browning. Strikeout, home run, double, strikeout, 2-base hit, and you turn it into 2 first-inning runs and a not-so-hot start for the Reds left-hander.
Well, Tommy already down 2-0. He's got 2 strikeouts, so that doesn't mean much. And they've got good hitting in Montreal. They had a good spring. They were 14-10, somewhere in that area down in spring training. They actually had a good spring training. They've got good power. When you mention the numbers that we see here, Galarraga, Webster, Brooks, and Wallach all have good power. And then down towards the end of the lineup, a little bit of suspect. You know, the guy right now that's probably nervous and starting to think about it is Bill Landrum and Guy Hoffman, because those are the 4th and 5th starters, basically the long men to a great extent. They're sitting over there, and as you see, we've had a little consultation out at the mound, but Pete may be thinking about who he's going to move out there to the bullpen, and so other breathing starts to get a little heavier.
All extra base hits for the Expos as Scott Breeden has left the mound. You saw the visit out there. Here's Vance Law, and here's Barry Larkin, and that's the inning. But a good beginning for the Expos of Buck Rogers. 2 runs, 3 extra base hits, and a man left after a half inning of play. And this the opening game of the year. Expos 2, and the Reds are coming up.
All right, the bottom of the first inning, the Reds trail 2-0 on 3 extra base hits by the Expos. There you see the defense for the Montreal Expos. In the outfield, Alonzo Powell, he struck out. Reed Nichols, he's the center fielder. Mitch Webster hit the first home run of the National League season. Third base, it's Tim Wallach. He already has a double. There's Hubie Brooks at shortstop. Vance Law is the second baseman. Galarraga, who led the league in doubles until Wallach got his. Fitzgerald is not the catcher. Jeff Reed is the catcher. And Floyd Yeoman's a 13-12 record. You see the lineup now for the Reds that Yeomans will be facing. Be Cal Daniels, followed by Barry Larkin, the shortstop. Cincinnati himself, Dave Parker. Batting third, he's playing right field. Eric Davis is in center field. Boy, there's a lot of talk about Eric. Buddy Bell, the Cincinnati product. And I'm sure his father Gus is here to watch him play third base. Bo Diaz is doing the catching. Terry Francona, who was picked up and given a chance in spring training and made the ball club, starts at first base. Ronnie Oster's at second base. Here comes the first pitch by Yeomans.
And it's wrapped hard by Daniels, but Galarraga there to play it. And the easy put out to the Montreal pitcher, Floyd Yeomans. 1 pitch, 1 out.
Ron Oster is the second base, another Cincinnati player, and of course pitching Tom Browning. That's the lineup for the Reds, and here comes a Cincinnati kid that I'm sure is a little bit nervous today, Marty.
First opening day in Cincinnati for the Moeller Products, Barry Larkin. The Reds, of course, have a number of players on their opening day 24-man roster who have never gone through the experience of what is probably the most unique of all opening days in Major League Baseball right here in Cincinnati. Strike is called on Larkin.
I think he's going to have a good day. For some reason, I don't know what it is. I just feel like he's going to have a big day.
Well, in light of the fact that they are going to have to play catch-up, I hope you are correct. Cincinnati trailing 2-0, bottom of the first inning. Yeomans bringing it. 1 ball, 1 strike. Floyd Yeomans, a product of Tampa, Florida, was a high school teammate until his family upped and left Florida for California. Dwight Gooden of the New York Mets, and one of the true hard throwers in all of Major League Baseball. They say last year he averaged, in a route-going pitching performance, 67 pitches of 90 miles an hour or more. And that's getting it up there. 1 and 2, he's out in front on Larkin.
Looks like Webster.
And Barry will hang around.
Isn't that the kid that does the commercials?
That's the one.
That's he kind of looks like got a little young face, and of course, boy, how would you like to have seen that pitching duo in high school?
That would have been something.
Good.
That'd have been enough heat to air condition the state of Florida.
That's like Ronnie Crane and Johnny Bench out in Binger back to back.
That ball is hit pretty well, and it is going to be caught at the 375 mark by Alonzo Powell.
I was only 2 feet off of him having a big day.
He sure was. Long belt to left, all down by Alonzo Powell, and Dave Parker steps in. As we remind you, this copyrighted telecast comes to you through the courtesy of Multimedia Broadcasting, authorized under television rights granted by the Cincinnati Reds, solely for the entertainment of our audience. Any publication, reproduction, or other use of the pictures, descriptions, or accounts of this game without the express written consent of the Cincinnati Reds is prohibited. Yeomans going for the perfect first as Daniels has bounced out. Larkin has flied to deep left. Here's Dave Parker.
Why they haven't turned on the lights?
It is certainly dark and ominous looking enough here in Cincinnati to brighten things up down below. Ball 1.
We've got a weatherman standing in the booth here. You would think that, why don't they turn on the lights? Is the sun coming out? Oh, okay.
That's an indisputable fact. It's on the other side of the clouds. I'll buy that.
sun is on the other side of the cloud.
Yes, and he's correct.
Of course, we do give him a lot of, flack because if it's bad weather, we blame him. If it's good weather, it's supposed to be that way.
That's right. That's right. One of the most thankless jobs in this business.
How about his outfit?
Well, you had a very apt description of him a short time ago.
Yeah, looks like a strep throat.
Here's a 2-0 pitch. Ball 3. This is the second time in the last 3 years these clubs have opened a season in Cincinnati. Back in 1985, the Reds knocked off the Expos 4-1, and it's the third time overall. They kicked off the 1970 season at Crosley Field. The Reds won 5-1. Calling for it, Reed Nichols, and Floyd Yeoman has a routine first inning. The Reds go up and down. No runs, no hits, and nobody left on. We have played an inning, and the Expos lead it 2-0.
Chili. Now, this is the best. I've tried the others, but I'll stick with the winner. Gold Star Chili is Cincinnati's best. Hey, I grew up right here in Cincinnati, and I know what good chili tastes like, and this is it. Would I do an ad for something I didn't believe in? No way. The fans of Cincinnati know better than that.
Pete Rose and Gold Star Chili, two of Cincinnati's best.
Hey, you're looking at Gold Star's biggest fan.
Right now, Watson's is having a...
With Johnny Bench, Marty Brenneman back at Riverfront. Tom Browning obviously hoping for better things as he goes to work on Expos catcher Jeff Reed to kick off the top of the second. Expos in front 2-0. There's a strike. Mike Fitzgerald would have been the opening day catcher. He is their front liner, but he went on the disabled list yesterday with a finger problem, and so the youngster from the Minnesota Twins getting the call today, and Barry Larkin backing, and will retire him on his first National League at-bat.
Well, it started out quietly enough just before this when Powell struck out, but then boom, boom, boom. I think it's not bad that we're behind. I think it's a good thing. I think it just creates that much more necessity to get some offense on the board. I never mind being behind as long as it wasn't 4 or 5 runs and he had a pitcher out there that was questionable with a bad arm. I think everybody feels like that Browning can come back and settle down and pitch well and keep you in the ballgame.
Well, the Reds trailed early last year to Steve Carlton and the Philadelphia Phillies and came back with a 7-4 win as Parker and Davis hit home runs in that one. Here's Reed Nichols. Like Reed before him, first time up in the National League. And also a Tampa, Florida native as Browning falls behind, ball 2. Larkin. Nichols aboard, and that should be scored a base hit. Terry's fine throwing arm getting an early test, and he unloaded a howitzer over the head of Terry Francona. So score that hit number 4 for the Expos and their first non-extra base hit.
One thing you want to look at right here is watch how Larkin fields the ball. He decides not to plant, and maybe it's because of the wet AstroTurf. Now, I don't know if he has spikes on. He may have just the rubber soles on with the nipples on the bottom. If he does that, that may have prevented from him, but no, it looks like he does have some spikes on, and he looked like he hesitated in going over there and planting and then turning. We do know that he has a good arm.
Now we see the fundamentals come into play. Yeoman's called on to bunt.
I noticed, did you see that in the paper this morning that Coleman, Vince over at St. Louis, is 0 for 11 and stealing off of Tom Browning? Well, that's hard to believe. It was in the paper this morning.
That's impressive. If that in fact is the case, I would almost wonder whether or not that might be a misprint.
Well, that's a lot of times on base. 11 times. He can hit him, but that's about all.
I don't know that Vince Coleman would be 0 for 11 against John the Baptist. 0-2. 1 out, 1 on, top half of the second inning.
Well, if I'm going to make statements like that, I ought to read the paper. I mean, and check.
No, I'm not questioning whether you read correctly or not.
I may have.
It is a given that you read well.
Thank you so
I
much.
just have to assume, unless we can check that in the next couple of days, that seems almost impossible to believe. And Yeomans is out on strike. So those fundamentals we were talking about, all those folks getting a chance to get adequate amount of time bunting during spring training betrays Floyd Yeomans. He's out on strikes. Credit Browning with his third. And back we go to the top of the batting order, and left fielder Alonzo Powell. Powell was out on strikes, looking to begin the game.
Did you see the baseball edition
Yes, I did.
supplement there?
Absolutely. Oh, yeah.
Was he selling gold or was he playing baseball?
You could make a strong argument for both of them, I think. Swinging out of this. We're talking about Eric Davis, whose portrait on the front page of the special baseball insert. This morning's Cincinnati Enquirer, no shirt on, holding a bat, and got a boatload of gold on. An impressive picture.
I can't afford that. Yeah.
0-1 pitch.
Jackie Moore
in the third base coaching box for the Montreal Expos, and a former pretty good infielder in his own right back in his playing days, basically with the Baltimore Orioles and Ron Hansen.
How about if I tried this on you? He's 0 for 11 against Browning hitting, so he hasn't gotten on base.
Now you're talking. You don't read too well
He
after
still
all.
hadn't, so.
1-2 the count.
Hey, we won't get so many letters now that I straightened that out.
2-0 Expos in front. They scored twice in the first on a home run by Mitch Webster and doubles by Andres Galarraga and Jim Wallach. Runner at first, and on the move, and a rocket, fair ball to right field.
Oh, I'd like to see that replay.
Another two-base hit, and another run for Montreal as they up the count to 3.
That's his first major league hit. You see him asking Joe West if he could have the baseball. I tell you, this is a young man that played A-ball and double A-ball. Browning with the ball out over the plate. And I'm telling you, he dove for the ball, and, well, I guess Runge right on top of the play saw it a lot better than we did. But you see Parker coming over, up with the ball. He's going to hit Oster, and, well, it's not even stopping for Reed Nichols. Oster's ball, a little short hop, which is always the toughest for the catchers because he has to go out and block the ball. He cannot afford to let the ball get away from him. But here we are with another man in scoring position and 2 out.
And it brings up the home run hitting Mitch Webster. Hit a line drive over the left field fence in the first inning. Two for Webster. And it's 4-0 Montreal. And right now, things starting to get a little bit out of hand.
Yeah, the fans really have a lot of patience here in Cincinnati. A lot of them have not been to ball games and probably won't be back until the playoffs. But they're getting a little impatient with Browning, and I think that you're going to find Pete's going to have to start looking for somebody to go to the bullpen. Even though there's 2 outs in the inning, he'll give him one more pitch, but I'm not sure he shouldn't start warming somebody up. I'm sure he's thinking about it right now.
Galarraga 1 for 1, a double to right center, and a run scored in the first as Browning checks Webster at first base.
Andy better. Webster with good speed.
Buck Rogers said all spring, he said this is a better baseball team than the so-called experts give it credit for being. And right now, they look very impressive. The bullpen will start to get busy, as John suspected, and they'll do it with right-hander Bill Landrum. There's Landrum going down to start heating up with Coach Bruce Kim.
Wouldn't be surprised if he takes off on this pitch, Marty. He's still 36 bases. He's shortened his lead up. He's not.
Browning will play it, and the inning is over. But another 2-run inning for Montreal. 2 runs on 3 hits with a man left. Not a good start for the Reds, who trail after 1.5, 4-0.
Here we are in the bottom of the second. You see Marge shot there, not very happy. We're down 4-0. And hey, Reds fans, don't miss Snapper calendar today when the Reds face the National League West champion Houston Astros at 2:15 on April the 18th. All fans in attendance will receive a free Reds calendar filled with action photos of your favorite Reds and much more. It's a must for everyone who will follow the Reds through this exciting '87 season. That's calendar day, Saturday, April the 18th. The Reds and Astros at 2:15. Thanks to the good folks at Snapper Lawn and Garden Equipment.
Eric Davis opening up the bottom half of the second, takes the strike. Floyd Yeomans has been staked to a 4-run lead. One ball, 1 strike on a young man who was the recipient of a lot of ink and a lot of verbiage during the offseason extolling his baseball virtues. And so far, he has seemed to be able to handle it very well. A drive, hit well, center field, has it got enough? It does. Baseball season and answer all the nice things that all the nice people have said about you.
Well, there's a lot of people who have talked about him. I've done a couple of interviews with him in spring. They say he has it all. He can do it all. He can run, throw, hit with power, hit for average. And you just saw a crank job right there, folks. This heavy air, when flags are blowing out, but it actually blows down from the outside and blows up against it, pushes it. He got all of it. Boy, that's a good start.
Buddy Bell now as the Reds hopefully have started the road back after spotting the Expos 4 runs.
Oh, that's a great feel. I love to see that. They've so much talked about it.
UB Brooks to Galarraga for out number 1. Well, the opening day games have been very kind to Cincinnati. They have won 11 of their last 13, including the last 4 in a row. And overall at Riverfront, 16 previous opening day games, 11-5. I can remember 1979, John McNamara's first year, Tom Seaver against the Giants. It could not have gone any worse. The Reds were hammered that afternoon by the Giants, and when Mac finally went to the mound to take Tom out, after Bill Fisher had been out there one time, I think Seaver's line was, "How do you like it so far,
how are you enjoying your debut so far?"
Yeah.
And Max said, "Time flies when you're having fun."
Diaz. And he's quickly down 2 strikes.
Yeah, we were playing the Giants, and he said, "Yeah, he threw me a fastball right out over the plate." He said, "Well, I hit it pretty good." Davis, Parker said, "Pretty good."
0-2 pitch. That'll be out of play. Well, we certainly, and I say this with my fingers crossed, got a break in the weather. It is not the most comfortable of days here in Cincinnati, but I don't think anybody overly disappointed. We've had as many bad days or more bad days than we've had good days weather-wise, but the spirits are high, and even higher now that Davis has gotten his ball club on the board. Holding it, no balls and 2 strikes. The umpires, we neglected to give them to you. Bob Engel behind the plate at first, Paul Runge at second, Joe West. Yes. And at third, Cincinnati native Randy Marsh. Charging his Wallach. Took Galarraga off the bag, but if an infielder's going to do that, he took him in the right direction. 2 men out.
Yeah, the umpires like to be noticed anymore. They like their name mentioned, and they have. And congratulations on the settlement for the strike.
Absolutely. That's the reason why they should be recognized today, because we have regular National League umpires. The threatened strike went down the drain when they settled that thing this morning.
And some good umpires, too. And, of course, Randy, you said, lives over across the river, I think.
Terry Francona operating against his former club.
And Roxy.
There's Randy Marsh.
I think that's his wife, Roxy.
Roxanne.
Yeah. Yeah, he's a nice guy, I tell you. They make a lovely couple. Got a little girl, I believe.
2 balls and no strikes. Francona, of course, like a number of others, experiencing his first opening day in Cincinnati in a Reds uniform. And Brooks will play that one. The inning is over. The Reds get a run on a hit, a home run by Davis, but still at the end of 2. It is the Expos 4 and the Reds 1. Tom Browning trailing 4-1 as he sets to deal with Hubie Brooks here at the outset of the 3rd, and that one pulled high and way foul off to the left side, a strike. Brooks in the first inning was struck out swinging. The Expos 2 in the first, 1 on a Mitch Webster home run, 2 more in the second. And batting here in the third. 1 ball, 1 strike. Out of the middle, Diaz. Earlier, you got to look at the First Lady of the Reds, Marge Schott, seated alongside the governor of our fine state of Ohio, Richard Celeste, and just one of many luminaries here today. There they are. Governor plans on being in Cleveland tomorrow for their opener, or later on this week, I should say. They're opening on the road today in Toronto. Pitch is high, 2-2. His ultimate dream, he pointed up, was to have an all-Ohio World Series, the Reds and the Indians. I think both ball clubs would concur wholeheartedly with that.
Well, Remy Pat Corrales, the manager for the Indians.
And a former teammate of yours.
And some former roommates.
I always wondered what your problem was.
Yeah.
No, Pat's a good guy. And I think
I'll make mention of that to him.
Yeah, do that. He'd probably pinch my head off. 3-2 and holding on Brooks. That'll be a little bit more routine than the other balls that have been hit out into Eric Davis's general direction. That's the first out. Bill Burgish on the right of your screen, you probably recognize, and I would imagine a lot of folks down south recognize that gentleman bundled up with sunglasses seated to his left, the fine basketball coach of the Kentucky Wildcats, Eddie Sutton. Getting a little bit taste of what baseball Cincinnati style is all about here today.
I've seen him up here at a few games. He's a good baseball fan, loves to come up, and of course, it's a lot easier to accept the invitation to sit on the front row, too.
Oh, yeah. Now, I would imagine that he will reciprocate with Marge and Bill Burgish and get them front row seats at the 50-yard line at Rupp Arena next season. Hit number 7 for the Expos, and they've got a couple of players working on perfect afternoons. Mitch Webster and now Tim Wallach, who doubled the run home in the first inning and now singles here in the third.
I think Marge follows basketball pretty close. She may try to buy him, though, if she hears about it.
You're right. That's very true. You get one taste of what that team does and how well they draw down there at Rupp Arena. Very, very impressive program. Here's Vance Law, and the bullpen for the second time in the last 2 innings getting busy for the Reds, and again it's right-hander Bill Landrum. Call strike to Law, who bounced out to Barry Larkin in the first inning. Expos 4, the Reds 1. They have already reached Browning for 7 hits. Fastball for strike 2.
Long time attendees for opening day. 66 years up there. Ooh.
American League in the 5th. Toronto up a run on the Indians, 3-2 in the 3rd. New York, Detroit, no score. Texas won Baltimore nothing after an inning. Bobby Valentine, he might have some fun down in Arlington, Texas this summer. Good young ball club. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Yeah, he's got a lot of first-year pitchers down there with a lot of talent, and you wonder how they'll adjust, or if they try to adjust. Sometimes the hitters catch up to them, and sometimes the pitchers outsmart themselves and try to pitch differently.
In the corner. Let's see if they'll bring Wallach toward the plate. They're waving him around as Daniels bobbles the ball, and Buddy Bell will just hang on to it 5-1 as the Expos get the run back.
I think he'll probably do it if Landrum is ready. We'll just see how much longer, whether he'll send Bo out to talk to him. Well, we see him, well, not in an unusual position. He's always up near the top step. Well, there's another ball up. That's just up in the strike zone. He's not locating, and maybe he's just not got the velocity opening day sometimes, but you need to have all that. He's not an overpowering pitcher, and he needs to make the pitches, and you get out there against that mud and wet, and it's hard to pick up balls.
Jeff Reed takes a strike. If you're scoring with us, do not credit Vance Law with an RBI. They ruled a double, but they also charged an error on Cal Daniels in left that enabled Tim Wallach to score. Two men out. The batter will be center fielder Reed Nichols, who gained credit for an infield single in the second inning on a ball hit deep in the hole at shortstop. Ron Oster goes to the mound to offer Tom Browning a bit of encouragement. Even if Browning is able to retire Nichols, you have to wonder whether Pete might not hit for him.
He will.
The second batter due up, bottom of the third. They're going to intentionally walk Nichols with first base open and take their chances with Floyd Yeoman.
Yeah, I think that's what he's got to do almost, Marty. Bat leading off and the pitcher in the second spot. He's got to try to put some offense on the board now. He's trailed by 4 runs. You don't mind trailing by 4. You want to trail by 5, and Landrum continues to warm. Looks like he's ready, and he knows the pitcher's up, so they're out there telling him just to pace himself, not overthrow, see what Pete wants to do.
There's the Buck Rogers. So Browning issues his first walk, and it is of the intentional variety. Yeomans, who was charged with the responsibility of trying to move Nichols along in the last inning, when he attempted to bunt, ended up with a strikeout. So now he's here with Law at second, Nichols at first, and 1 man out. You take a look at the runners. Make that 2 down in the inning. Larkin to second, the short route to end the inning. 1 run, a couple of hits with an error. They leave 2. And after 2.5 innings in the opening game of the year, that's a sad but true tale. 5-1 Montreal. It has been a bad beginning for Pete Rose and his Cincinnati Reds, who trail 5-1 as they bat here in the bottom half of the 3rd inning. And for Tom Browning, his day is done because Ronnie Oster leads off the inning against Floyd Yeoman. And already in the on-deck circle, rookie outfielder Leo Garcia. There he is. He'll bat for Tom Browning. Right now we're waiting on Yeomans to get things straightened out in that area, and that's something that is commonplace on days such as this throughout Major League Baseball. That's why the tongue depressor would be probably the most valuable player among all the 26 teams. Right this ball to Oster, who did not have a good spring. Fourth Ron batting from his more proficient side in hitting against right-hander Yeomans. 1 ball, 1 strike. That ball's hit pretty well. It might be in the gap. And off the base of the wall, Oster to second. He'll turn it on, heading for third, and he is in there with a triple. He gets up and says so much for spring training.
I was looking at the Montreal roster to see what Wallach and Webster hit, and Webster hit well. Ronnie did struggle hitting right-handed again, and this time a fastball out over the plate, and he juiced it. You can see right here the ball hitting the base of the wall right at the top, hit down in that mud. Otherwise, it would have come off to center fielder Nichols. He would have had an easy play. When Brooks got it, he had to throw it mud and all. And Ronnie doing one of his famous belly whops that he sometimes has trouble getting up from, because he does that 3-pointer right on his sternum.
Garcia, ball 1.
Here's my man right
yes,
here.
Sir.
You know it.
We have in the booth here, folks, the president of the Leo Garcia fan club.
I saw him down in spring. I really liked him. I had no idea he was going to make the ball club. He just got an RBI.
He juiced that ball pretty well, too, and Powell will make the play, but Garcia does the job. A well-hit sacrifice fly, and it's 5-2, and the little guy is
Leo.
pumped
Where's
up.
Leo? There he is. Let's see. Follow him right there. Stay with him. He was clapping coming back. He got good contact. That's all you have to do. He's talking about having a horrible spring. He didn't do it with his bat. I tell you, he did it with his enthusiasm, his hustle. He played in a lot of ball games defensively, got some at-bats, and right now picks up a Major League RBI just like that.
Well, if for no other reason, and it's not to say that he doesn't have talents, but his attitude is just out of this world. And it's nice to have a young man on the club that makes it after a number of years in the minor leagues and contributes as he does in his first big league at-bat.
3 years at AAA.
Yeah.
That's paying you dues.
Cal Daniels 0 for 1, bounced out first baseman of the pitcher in the first inning. Chased a bad ball there.
Well, you're down 5-2. You try to get the ball club back in. You got to be a little patient.
Reds have collected 2 hits and have made the most of them, scoring 2 runs, and we've already had a multitude of extra base hits. 2 home runs between the 2 clubs, a total of 3 doubles, 1 triple. Daniel spinning again.
Bullpens are going to be very important today. Yeoman's throwing a lot of pitches. Got a good fastball. You talked about 60-some pitches over 90 miles an hour, but they'll watch him. You know, he's thrown quite a few pitches, and they'll watch him. And of course, they're not used to going 9 innings in spring training. So let's see how Buck Rogers treats him, and of course, let's see how the Reds' offense treat him.
Powell for the second out. There was a lot of talk in the first couple of weeks in spring training that Yeomans might not get the ball from Buck Rogers. There was talk that rather left-hander Neil Heaton would be the opening day pitcher, but as things turned out, Yeomans is the guy, but he reported to spring training considerably overweight, which automatically incurred the ire of the Montreal manager, who can be a very tough disciplinarian. Yeomans worked like a dog to get his weight down and looks in pretty good shape. Right to Larkin.
Well, it was amazing. I heard the same thing on the radio this morning. When they were talking about the fact that he had been into the donuts rather heavily. They've been eating with Nuxall of late.
Speaking of Joe, he'll be over to join Johnny in the 4th inning. Larkin, Brooks, safe. That'll be a boot, no doubt, on shortstop Hubie Brooks.
Well, now, he lived in Cincinnati. Oh, no, I thought maybe the Cincinnati deal might get him something.
1 apiece. Look at it again.
Hit it solid. He hit it solid the first time up, almost hitting it through the wall. He hit that one right through Hubie, and Hubie had to rush it, respecting Larkin's speed. The Larkin family's got pretty good speed and great ability. Galarraga skies to get it, but cannot make the tag on Larkin, and he is a threat to run.
Dave Parker back for the second time.
Ooh, hung that breaking ball.
I was getting ready to say, Dave is saying, throw it one more time. Fly to center in the first inning.
He'll go. You better throw over there.
Larkin puts on the brakes. He started to turn on the afterburners, but Jeff Reed recovered very, very quickly. We'll pause 5 seconds for station identification on the Cincinnati Reds television network.
Channel 5, WLWT, Cincinnati.
Reds trailing 5-2. Dave Parker at the plate with 2 out, and Barry Larkin over at first base, getting the dirt out of his fight. We have seen one Red repeat. Eric Davis, who homered last opening day, do it this afternoon, and like to see this big guy do it. Alonzo Powell has had an early game workout. The inning is over, and for the Reds in the 3rd, a run on a hit with 1 error and 1 left. A third of the way through the opening game of the year, and Montreal leads 5-2.
Well, we're back here as we go into the top of the 4th inning. The Reds are trailing 5-2. Tom Browning is out of there, and Joe, well, not a real good outing for Tom Browning. I know he was excited, but he had to be a little bit nervous about being opening day pitcher.
Well, John, I think the ball's being tagged pretty good here this afternoon. 10 hits and 7 of them extra base hits, and the ball's been hammered pretty well, both sides, although we only have a couple. So, Tom, a tough outing for him. Big role for Bill Landrum as he comes on here in middle relief, and we know how important that is. If he can shut it down, why, you never know. 3 runs isn't a whole lot to make up, and maybe it'll happen in a hurry.
Well, all we need is hits. I think we can see that. We got 2 hits. We got 2 runs. Billy Landrum from out of Columbia, South Carolina, 6'2", 185 pounds. He was sitting on the old hot seat, not knowing which way he was going. Pete at the last minute decided that he was going to take Bill. A real good outing over in Vero Beach against the Dodgers kind of helped solidify that. And he and Guy Hoffman came instead of Norm Charlton. So Landrum on here, and Joe, what kind of pitches does Landrum throw? I've heard he throws a heavy fastball.
Well, Bill is a fastball, slider ball pitcher, and you can see his first pitch, a little sinking action to it. And John, you've thought enough sinker ball pitchers that usually when you receive one of their pitches, it feels like a brick coming up there.
For a week, it feels like a brick. Alonzo Powell leads off the top of the fourth. He's 1 for 2, struck out, and then he doubled down the right field line. Got an RBI as Reed Nichols was running on the play. Youngster watches and sees a fastball on the outside part of the plate, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Yeah, you like that sinker working. You like to get a jam shot. Let everybody in that dugout go back and see your hands stinging like you got a handful of bees. And you got to be a little tentative going up there and swinging. Over the top again, and it's 3 balls and a strike to Alonzo Powell. 5 runs on 8 hits and an error by the Expos. 2 runs, 2 hits, and an error by the Reds. And here's a fastball back, and it's fouled back over the top of us into the upper deck. On deck, you see Mitch Webster, the switch-hitting right fielder. He's already having a big day. He's perfect for the year. A home run. He was at the plate in the first inning. Then he got a single. Another ball popped up on the right side. Ronnie Oster telling Terry Francona, here comes Parker. Parker's going to call him off. 1 up and 1 down, so Billy Landrum. That away. Nice start, kid.
You watch Phil Landrum throw the ball, John, and you would have to think he might be a little bit sneaky, just the way he kind of cocks it up above his head and then releases it. And if he keeps the ball down, he's successful. He had a good spring. A little doubtful starting off as far as in making the ball club. It really came on strong.
Well, he jumps at you. You know, you can see the ball over the top there. He misses with a pitch down and into Mitch Webster. Let's get that view from behind if we can. There you see Webster 2 for 2. Sort of sets it at the top, and then when he gets there, he holds it, and then, boom, lets it go. He's going to try to drag one. Got it out towards the mound a little too much. Billy off the mound over to Francona, and just like that, the fans have found a new friend.
Terry Francona, yeah, first baseman. I can feel for him in a situation like that. Kid that's in an opener for the first time, and he's a little hyped up and to feel the ball. And I would think Terry was saying, "Now I better get set here because there's going to be a little extra on this," and there was.
Here's Galarraga, first baseman, double his first time up in the center field, and bounced back to the pitcher. He watches the breaking ball down. Bob Engel working behind the plate. Paul Runge's at first base. Joe West, Country Joe West at second, and then Randy Marsh over at third. Here's Landrum again. He works with a slider, hit down towards Buddy Bell. He's going to take it, make a little flip throw, and just like that, 3 up and 3 down. Well, we got Brenneman out of here, and we get him shut down. 3 up and 3 down for Billy Landrum. After 3.5 innings of play, the Expos lead the Reds 5-2. Fourth, Floyd Yeoman's on the mound. He's facing Eric Davis. Nice round of applause for Eric. He went straight away center, right on out of here. He tries to overthrow that fastball. He gets behind in the count. He hit that fastball right on out of here. What a nice start. Ball out over the plate. Got those arms extended and got off to the kind of start everybody would like to see him get off to. He's reaching back a little bit right now, Joe. He looks like he's trying to throw it right by for good.
Well, he will do that, John. You I'm sure, watched him last year pitch some baseball, and Floyd got an excellent fastball, but as you know, the moment you try to throw it in a 99 instead of 94, why...
that's all right with us.
Have a problem.
Let him overthrow. He was too cool early in the season. Ellie got him with a slider. He got him swinging. 2-0 in the count. He ahead. Threw him the slider down and away, and Eric thinking to himself, well, gave myself one guess so far. Yeomans again looks then for the sign. Comes to the plate, up and in. 3 balls and a strike. Got behind 3-0 to Parker, and Parker popped it up. Now he's behind 3-1 to Eric Davis. He's leading 5-2. There you see Buddy Bell on deck. 2 hits in the game for the Reds. A home run and a triple. Here's Yeoman. Ball down and in. He walks it. That's the first walk given up by Floyd Yeoman. And now they can see another dimension of Eric Davis, Joe.
Well, you know that Eric has the green light, and he might well run, even down 3, but his chances of making it in a steal attempt are very, very good. So Buddy Bell, who hit the ball sharp his first time up, but grounded short. So Buddy's been swinging the bat pretty good here the last 5 or 6 games in spring camp. So hopefully he can start off the way he was hitting last year, the way he finished up. So if he does that, he'll have a super year.
Well, Eric Davis, it's a little damp over there. They have had the tarpaulin on over around the bases and in the cutouts, so shouldn't be that much. But when you come in and out of the dugouts, you get the moisture, and of course standing out in the outfield. So you do collect some dirt. Yeoman's going to watch him close, and there he goes. Bell takes it, thrown down by Reed. No chance.
No contest.
Well, just like that, folks. We've seen every dimension you want to see. That's all we've talked about. That's been talked about a lot. And you're going. And I don't think we're going to get tired of talking about it.
Eric just there's the jump, and he's gone with that first step. So important, and he steals it easily. In fact, almost could have stolen the ball base standing up. But a good throw by Jeff Reed. Here's another look at it, but just no contest. In fact, almost a perfect throw by Reed, but that guy running
better than
has
that.
a lot to do with it.
Well, here's Bell. Let's see if he tries to get him over. Vance Law is going to try to break to hold him back, and he throws the ball up and in. Bell probably looking for something out over the plate to take towards right field, get him into scoring position for Bo Diaz. I'd like to see him go for a good base hit. Let him try to hang that pitch right now.
I think his old buddy need to put him and Big Gus up there with Yogi and Dale.
Let's see this here. We got the old clock on the wall.
Where?
Well, they took the clock down on us, didn't they? I think that's the clock that was in Nashville, Joe.
Oh.
They're taking it out for repairs.
2 hours short of game time.
As we see some of the construction, there's a ball hit towards second base. Vance Law looks towards third. And let's give a little Buddy Bell a star here. It's 4-3 and a star. Well, Joe, you talk about it a lot, that should show up in the scorebook a lot more than it does.
Sure should. This more or less giving yourself up, which Buddy and Barry Larkin are excellent at it. Barry is just outstanding. Well, let's see. Here
Talk
we
about
go.
father-son combinations, Joe.
Buddy has 176, and Gus had a 206 for 382. And Dale Vera and Yogi, or Yogi and Dale, however, 358 for Yogi and 49 for Dale, so they had 407. And that adds up to what, 27.
25.
25.
They're 25 behind, and there goes Frank Williams down to the bullpen. Well, if they get something going, they may have to pinch hit again for Billy Landrum, and I know Pete would like to because that means the inning would be continuing. There's a fastball right down the heart, a little bit inside, but for a strike. So closed out the 86 season with 306 average for the last 49 games, and hits a little bit different with men on base.
Well, here's the place. Ground ball, second short, and it's a run.
Foul back up into the upper deck. And Yeoman's ahead 0-2. Now can either run that fastball in or try to throw that breaking ball down and away in the dirt. Oh, like you say, only a sharply hit ball right at either the third baseman or first baseman Galarraga would really have much of a chance. Although Hubie Brooks is playing a little bit. There you see Buck Rogers, Larry Bernarth just standing below him. And Yeoman's works again. There's a ball hit off the handle and into center field. Base hit. 5-3 ball game. Well, he tried to throw the fastball inside, and Bo, just protecting the plate, fought it off. RBI, number 1 for Bo.
You know, Bo, last year, I don't think he was given near the credit he deserves for the job he did, John. Catching, he did a good job with a bat, and just an all-around good job, and I think he deserves a little more credit than he was given for last year.
Well, here's a start right there. And he did. He doesn't talk much, and that, see, Francona swinging at a hanging breaking ball. Looked like he didn't finish breaking. He doesn't talk much. He sort of stays by himself. He likes just to do his job, and
you know
he does his job well.
He's a pretty good agitator, though. You know, he gets those little nicks in at you. You know?
Yeah, but he does it in the privacy of other guys he really trusts.
But the thing he does, he turns his head and laughs.
Well, he's no threat to run. He may not have to.
This guy has been without a doubt. Well, hope we hear that a lot this year here at Riverfront. The old fireworks. That means good things.
Well, that's what they put up. This much for you. Well, we talked about Bo not having the real good speed. He didn't have to have.
Here's another look at it, and there it is, down and in. I'll tell you, John, all the catching you did, I bet you there's very few left-handers that allowed that pitch right there to get by. Why left-handers are always good down and in hitters for some reason.
What does that make the score, Joe?
That makes the score even.
Even. All right, let's start from there with double nickels on the board. Here's Ronnie Oster. He had a triple, and you know, we talked about the father-son. Well, that's the father-son right there. There's Billy Campbell, the oldest player on the Expo roster, 38 years old. We talk about father-sons with Gus and Buddy Bell. How about Tito? And you were talking about it down in Asheville. You still have trouble calling him Terry instead of Tito.
I'm going to start calling him Tito and forget about it. Tito Jr.
Well, I know that boy is happy. I wish we could see what he's doing right now. I'm sure he's got a smile from ear to ear.
He might be here. I don't know. I meant to ask Terry.
I wondered if Tito did come down. Of course, happy man. His son, that's my boy. He just turned to everybody and said, that's my boy. And, of course, there are a lot of players. Saw Barry and Bobby Bonds on television on WLW this morning. And now Ronnie Oster hitting the count 3-0. And Buck Rogers, he's up standing by the bat rack. And there's a ball down and in for ball 4. And the second base on balls, and both of them have come in this inning. And Pete has gone to warm up, had Frank Williams warm up just so he could get a pinch hitter, and here he is. So planning ahead, Larry Bernard, the pitching coach for the Montreal Expos, out to see Floyd, and you could see him try to hump up from the very beginning when he walked Eric Davis, Joe. Tried to get a little extra, and when you do that, sometimes you lose that rhythm.
Well, as we were talking a couple of hitters, well, particularly Eric Davis, where he was, as you mentioned, John, trying to reach back for more than he had, and when you do that, you just get yourself into trouble, and hopefully it winds up big trouble for Floyd. 3 runs in the inning, still only 1 out, and Paul O'Neill will step to the plate as a pinch hitter, and he is very capable of going deep.
Yes, he is. He looks at the slider. It stays high, and you can see the pitches right now staying high. You can see the arm trailing a little bit. He's not staying back. Arms lagging, and elbows dropping down. As a result, he's not able to get on top. He's going to check Oster again, and Paul O'Neill, well, he's a young kid with a lot of ability. He's going to be 24 years old. He's been sent back 3 different times. He said, I can't afford to be sent back many more times. I've got to make the major league. There's too many 20-year-olds out there. Back in Vermont, he was voted the outstanding player. Major league prospect. Earned a spot on the American Associated All-Star team. Voted by managers one of the top 10 major league prospects in the league. Got hurt last year. He looks at a strike. 2 balls and a strike. Wasn't for sure, but at 2 balls and a strike, at 2 no balls and no strikes, he can afford to give it a look. 1 man out here in the bottom of the 4th inning. The Reds now have caught up.
Did you see that right there? It was interesting. Jeff Reed saying, hey, pointing over to first, throw over there, throw over there.
Those catchers, you know, they know what they're doing.
Oh, it's good.
There he goes. 1 on foul back. He'll have to return. Well, Jeff must have known something. Sometimes you can watch out of the corner of your eye, see what the runners are doing. Oster looking back for a sign as he goes back to first base. And I don't know if that pitch was up in the strike zone a little bit, but he had feet. Runner doesn't go, and he misses up and away. If he walks this guy, I got a feeling that we may see a visit from Buck Rogers. Billy Campbell looks like he is ready. 6'4", 205-pound Paul O'Neill. He'll be followed by Cal Daniels. Daniels 0 for 2 so far. An RBI by one pinch hitter already, Leo Garcia. Oster will be running with the 3-2 count, hit into left field. Get back over there. That's going to be in there for extra bases. It's going to get by Alonzo Powell. Here comes Oster around third. He'll score. O'Neill in with a double, and the referee 6-5.
Say the pitch hitting troops are doing quite well, and the bench in particular, Leo Garcia, as you mentioned, the sacrifice fly, and now Paul O'Neill with a double and an RBI, and here comes Buck Rogers, and that's going to be it for Floyd Yeoman.
What a great bench, yes. Keep talking about the benches, guys. All right. Every time we mention bench, it works. Well, here's Billy Campbell. He's going to come in to warm up. A little blowing on the hand. Floyd Yeoman's leaves after giving up only 5 hits, but he allowed 6 runs. And while we're making the pitching change, let's take time out for this.
Talk.
6-5 here. The Reds still continue to bat in the bottom of the 4th. They trailed 4-0 going into the bottom of the 2nd inning. And the Expos picked up another one, 5-1. The Reds picked up another one, 5-2. They finally held them scoreless. And then Paul O'Neill right there breaks the tie. A big 4-run inning for the Reds. You see Oster right there running on the pitch. A 3-2 pitch. A Powell having a little problem in the mud. Oster around to score his 2nd run of the inning. And Buck Rogers has made a pitching change.
We got Bill Campbell, a right-hander. Bill's been around a little bit. He started his career at Minnesota, went to Boston for a few years, Chicago for a couple, Philadelphia, St. Louis, and last year at Detroit. And Campbell, I think he was one of that group that they invited to camp down at West Palm Beach. Bruce Bereni was one, had several of them, and Bill's the only one, I think, that came through the war down there. So he watched Bill Campbell throw, and he saw a lot of off-speed stuff, herky-jerky delivery, and you have to really stay back and wait on the ball.
Well, it looks like somebody turned fire ants loose in his pantyhose, is what it looks like. He's got all kinds of herky-jerky movements, and he faces Cal Daniels. Daniels 0 for 2 on the day, grounded to first baseman Galarraga, and then flew out to left field Alonzo Powell in the 3rd. Here he bats in the 4th. He'll be the 7th man in the inning to bat. Davis walked, stole 2nd. He was moved to 3rd and scored on an RBI by Bo Diaz. Out front, Daniels on that off-speed pitch, and he does have that one. Bo single to center with an RBI, and then Francona left here with a 2-run homer to right field. And it was Ron Oster getting a walk, and Paul O'Neill. There you see the motion. Got everything going at you at once. And he'll throw the off-speed pitch and try to hit corners. He's got about every kind of pitch he throws, too.
Well, his mechanics are so great in throwing the baseball. You know, you talk so much about Tom Seaver and throwing a ball. Bill's mechanics are just...
Well, it's like a golf swing, Joe. It doesn't matter how you take it back. It's where you release it.
Tell me about it.
To Colby with a Quisenberry. 3 balls and a strike on Cal Daniels. In the American League, Toronto leads Cleveland 7-2. They're in the 7th inning. Detroit and New York are in the 4th. The Yankees are leading 1-0, and Texas and Baltimore are tied at a run apiece in the 3rd.
Pat Tabler's homered for Cleveland. That's one of the runs. There's a base hit.
Base hit into left center field. Here comes Paul O'Neill, and Cal Daniels with his first hit of the year off Bill Campbell. Well, a lot of people out to greet Paul O'Neill. Some happy people, especially Bill Landrum, because he has a chance to win this ball game if the Reds can hold the lead.
Here's another look at it, and Cal was a great hitter, and you can see the ball sinking down and away from him. He just went out and put the bat on it, and he is an excellent young hitter.
6'4", 205-pounder O'Neill cruising home. Good speed throughout the lineup. Here's Barry Larkin.
Close the book on Floyd Yeoman. Here goes Daniels, and the throw is not near in time. The headlong slide as you saw him. Some of the speed being put forth now. It's the potential of all year long to see that a lot, John.
Well, we talk about speed and defense. There you see Daniel, the head firster. And, boy, I tell you, power and speed, you've seen it all today. The people who came to see offense, well, we talked about the Reds starting pitching, having to hold people. If they can hold people, we can score some runs. An off-speed breaking pitch to Larkin in there for a strike. No balls and a strike.
Got Andy McGavigan loosening down the bullpen now.
Yeah, you might see Johnny Holstaff today.
They're tough.
Frank Williams in the bullpen for the Reds. He'll be in to pitch in the 5th inning. Another breaking ball off speed by Campbell. 4 runs so far in the inning. 5 runs so far in the inning. Make it. And the Reds, who trailed 8 hits to 2, now have closing the gap. I said if we could get, we had 2 hits and 2 runs, if we could just keep getting a hit for every run for every hit, well, we've got another extra run up there. 7 runs on 6 hits. Here's Campbell at the belt. He's ready to work. Bounces in the dirt. A real fine play by Jeff Reed. I like him behind the plate. He moves well, and they'll say, well, they stole 2 bases off of him, but I tell you, they're going to steal 2 bases. Those 2 guys are going to steal a lot of bases off anybody.
This young man at the plate, very capable, too. Barry Larkin.
Yeah. So, give me Don Gullett, and I'll take a chance at those guys running.
Yeah.
Me and Galletto will stop a few guys from running.
Yeah, he used to hang that one down there, too. Galette, he could get it up there.
Let him go. Hit well in left field, and hang it up. Oh, he's taking some power today. There go the satellites up. Larkin, I said Larkin was before this game was going to have a big day. He hit one that's up against the wall. It took Powell with the wall in the first. And now it takes it right on down the line. Look at that. There's 5. This bud's for you, Dave Parker said.
Well, Barry Larkin, and it's number 1. He hit 3 last year, and he got all of that one. No doubt about it. Here's another look at it, and there it is. Trying to hit that pitch.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, so you'd have nailed that baby right there, yeah. Here's Parker. He loops it out into left field, and Lonzo Powell doesn't see the ball. Neither does the center fielder. Ball's going to drop, and Parker goes in with a double. Well, they just never picked up the baseball. In fact, Powell started back. He's been going back so much, he just automatically dropped back.
Well, when you got a big guy like Parker swinging like that, I think anyone's first step will be back. But that defeated him, and here comes Buck one more time. He's going to get Bill Campbell.
Well, he's clapping his hands. He's saying, I don't know what happened. And Billy Campbell, who made the club, certainly didn't pick up any help for Floyd Yeomans. Billy Campbell, 38 years old, much travel veteran. Well, he just hung that screwball. He did not get it down in the strike zone. He showed the off-speed pitches, and you know, the youngsters sometimes don't know the veteran pitchers. They don't know enough to know that the fastball is tricky and the changeup is really so good off-speed that it's a good one. Sometimes you're up there and they say, well, I'll just look for the off-speed pitch. And that's what he got. Buck Rogers goes back to the dugout. Felt very comfortable. Only just a few minutes ago, he was leading 5-1 as the Reds came to bat in the 3rd. 5-2 was still the score at the end of 3. Was the score. Now we see the brain trust right there. Scotty Breeden talking to Pete. He's saying, now who can I bring in here? And he shows him the lineup. Frank Williams will have to go out there. Then, of course, we've got 5 more innings to play, and we've got to figure out who the closers are, who he'll pitch. He's got the day off tomorrow, so he can use all the pitching staff and not have to worry about it.
Well, when you have Ron Robinson, Rob Murphy, Johnny Franco sitting down there, 9-run lead, a 4-run lead in the 4th inning, you have to feel sort of secure, but nothing is for sure in this game of baseball. But all 3 of those guys are very capable of shutting anyone down. But right now it'll be Frank Williams in his first appearance after the Reds are out here. We hope it lasts another 10 or 15 minutes. This is interesting. It's the other side, it's not so interesting.
Well, just a short while ago, it was a 4-run lead for the Expos, and now it's a 4-run lead for the Cincinnati Reds. RBIs today, Cal Daniels has 1, Barry Larkin 2. Eric Davis led off his time at bat, his first time up, and hit a home run. Bo Diaz has a home run. Terry Francona has 2 RBIs on his home run. Garcia Leo has an RBI on a sacrifice fly, and Paul O'Neill with a double has an RBI. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. That's what it adds up to. 9 RBIs.
11 extra base hits and 16 total for both.
Is that right?
Hammer City.
Well, here's Eric Davis. Parker stands at second base. I'm sure he's going to try to work. He's got a running fastball. He's got a slider. He hits it to the hole in second base. He's first and second. Here comes Parker. Webster up. Here's the throw to home plate. Grade. It's hit by him. Davis stays at first base, and it's 10-5.
I would say the hitting shoes have been tied. I think they started off the first inning or so and forgot to tie their shoes.
Measly old single, Joe.
Wow. Measly, yeah, we'll have to get on the rack about that. But wait a minute, he had a dinger there that first time up, so we can't penalize him for a single.
7 hits in the inning. 8 runs in the inning. McGaffigan's slider on the outside part of the plate just poked through the hole. They're hitting it all over the place, folks. Boy, if you stayed away because of the weather, shame on you. You have missed a show today. Wow, we got some heat going through this ballpark. Here's Bell. Buddy 0 for 2. Well, he's got to feel miserable. Well, that's how Barry Larkin felt. That's how Cal Daniels felt. That's how Dave Parker felt. They were all 0 for 2. Come on, buddy, get you a hit. McGaffigan throwing over to get Davis. He's going to call a timeout. And 10-5, I'm not sure that Eric will be running in this situation. But McGaffin, give him a look. If he keeps pestering him, he might go ahead and take off. Yes, sir. A lot of these fans came out here, weathered this weather, came out here today, and they really enjoyed some baseball.
John, last year, the biggest inning for the Reds was 6 against the Cubs on the August 24th and September the 2nd against the Pirates. So we're already 1 up on last year already.
McGaffigan, well, he breaks and doesn't go. Reed pitches out, fires down to Galarraga, but he didn't get him. 1 ball and no strikes. Corey Snyder is at a home run now for Cleveland. Go with Pat Tabler. They still trail in the ball game. McGaffigan 10-5 last year. He pitched in Cincinnati in '85. Had 2 saves. He was both a starter and a reliever. It was in 48 games, 14 complete games. Throw back over once again, and the fans upset. They know they've got to have it. They're going to see a lot of this year. So get used to it. There'll be a lot of people throwing balls over, and some of them are going to be thrown away. Ooh, close. Runge says no. Well, the fans were unhappy the first 3 innings. Now they've sort of settled down. Bell grounded to short, grounded to second. There he goes. Great throw down there. He got him. Safe.
Well, Hubie Brooks did not question the call at all by Joe West, the second base umpire, but there again, a good throw by Jeff Reed, but the great speed of Eric Davis is able to get under the sag by Hubie Brooks. So here's another look at it, and Eric with that good jump, and now Reed got them throwing, and really a good throw, but you can see Eric just getting that front leg. It looked like
he caught the ball behind the bag. That's what it looked like. If he caught the ball right there, see how he has to reach back and then bring it?
He missed the front foot.
Boy, that's a good call right there, Mr. West. 3 balls and no strikes. Well, from this vantage point, it looked like that he should have been out, but the ball tailed just a little bit. Hubie did not stick that glove in there, and of course that has something to do with maybe some thumb injuries. He was unable to get the ball out front. If he had, it would have been right on the knees and right on the money. Walking lead for Davis, and McGaffigan steps back. Oh, half swing on a 3-0 pitch. He starts to look at third base, then has time to turn around and throw to Galarraga. He knew that the ball topped over there. He may have a chance at third, but Wallach had come in to field the ball, and there was no one over there, so he still had time to turn around and get Bell.
There's another look, and McGavigan, you can see he's going right at third, more or less. He looks there, and he said, whoa, here comes Tim. I better turn it to over here. And he did, and got Buddy by about a step.
2 outs finally in the inning. Here's Diaz. He had an RBI single to center field in this inning. He bounces it to a wild pitch. Score number 11 for the Reds. Well, after all that hard work, he got Buddy Bell to go after a 3-0 pitch on a half-hearted swing. Looked like he was doing himself pretty good, and then right then, it's called WP, folks. There's an unhappy pose right there.
Pitch out of way, and what's that remind you of?
Pain, misery.
No,
that reminds me of a playoff in '72.
Now you're talking. Just about the
Bob
same
Moose?
time. Yes, sir.
Hal McRae, George Foster scoring.
That's it.
Come on, Joe, you can come up with a little more information on that game.
Well, you hit a home run.
There's a changeup thrown over the top of the head. Not
your home run had nothing. Had a little bearing on it. You know what I mean?
Change hit in the air to deep right field. Back goes
she
Clemente
goes.
to the wall. Oh well, that's a long time ago.
That's probably one of
Almost
the last
15
pictures.
years ago.
Last pictures that Clemente taken of Roberto Clemente, I would imagine.
Well, there was a fly ball hit to right field. I hit the last ball over his head. That was about it. McGaffigan now behind in the count, 3-1 to Bo Diaz. Boy, as soon as we got Brenneman out of here, we started some action.
Yeah, you got to bring some offense in here. Of course, McWilliams saying the same thing over there.
Slider makes the count 3-2. Diaz unable to make contact. I don't think he was looking for Slider in that situation. McGaffigan still works from the stretch. Here it is. Good slider on the outside part of the plate. He got him. A good pitch by McGaffigan. He comes in, so he gives up a wild pitch. The Reds score 9 runs here in the 4th inning on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 hits. Make that 7 hits, folks. 7 hits, 9 runs. They had 1 man, nobody left on base. Boy, there's too many things going on. After 4 complete innings of play, the Reds lead 11-5. Umbrellas. Yeah, it's big enough for both people, I guess. You and I am not included, I guess. The Reds lead here 11-5, scoring 9 runs in the bottom of the 4th. And ladies, don't let a little rain get in your way this summer. Use your fashionable Reds umbrella all season long. Get your free umbrella at the Reds Umbrella Day coming up this Sunday, April 12th, thanks to Klosterman Bakery. The first 12,000 women in attendance, 18 and over, will receive a free red and white umbrella courtesy of Klosterman Bakery. It's the Reds against the Padres at 2:15, and Umbrella Day on Sunday, April 12th. Look up there, Joe, standing behind you. How about that catcher?
Great car. There he is. There he is. Dream Week kid. There he is. He got a lens big enough to get him in it.
Here's Frank Williams. He's in the pitch against Hubie Brooks. Williams came over in the trade. to San Francisco that saw Eddie Milner leave here, and a lot of people were disappointed that Eddie left, but after today, well, they've seen Paul O'Neill, they've seen Leo Garcia, now they see Frank Williams. I think they're going to like all three of them. Hibby looks at a pitch on the outside part of the plate, and he looks like he's going to take it all the way, and he was already had one strike on him. Hibby's got an error in the game. He's 0 for 2. Struck out in the first, flew to center field in the third, and now bats as the Expos trail. Williams from the stretch, side arming, got him. I'll tell you, that's the best at bat I've seen right now.
I think Hubie might have thought those two pitches were a little bit high, but Frank Williams, you can see how his ball really sinks, runs back over the plate. And, see, that pitch, I really feel that Hubie thought it might have been a bit high, but Frank Williams, he's going to be
a lot of people.
Yeah.
You know, there's certain pitchers, Joe, and I know that you had certain hitters that didn't like to hit against you. There's a lot of guys don't like to hit against that sidearm.
No.
And Frank Williams drops down from Port Arthur sometimes. You can see him how low he gets, and then he comes in there and then throws that little slider right there. And it is, you know, your heart's in it. Your backside isn't, but your heart is in it.
It's hard to discuss
Here's
that
Wallach.
with yourself.
2 for 2 on the day, has a double in the first with an RBI and then singled in the third. Came around to score in the third inning on a double by Vance Law and an error charge to Cal Daniels. 2 balls and a strike. Ball hit well. This went into right field. It'll drop, and Wallach has used the whole ballpark. Into center, into left, and now into right. 3 for 3. And that one stung a little bit.
Yeah, Tim Wallach, you can see him right there. He's trying to get his hands back in shape. He got jammed, I think, a little bit on that one.
And standing behind him, Terry Francona, former teammates. Terry playing just not holding him on. Stay plays at the cut and then moves back as the pitch is made. And there's Vance Law hitting one down the right field line. That's trouble. Can Parker get over there in time, or will it drop foul? Well, that was a foul ball.
Parkway bounced into that wall pretty good, and he's all right.
Yeah, we kind of look at it from this angle. We can't see it.
There you can see it there where he really pounded into that wall. And I think the stadium moved about 2 inches toward the river.
Well, he had to get over there, and he had to get the foot in against the wall, and of course the mud and everything else. And it looked like maybe the spike caught.
Might have to get the square out to make sure that scoreboard's still square after that one.
Law 1 for 2 on the day. See the pitch down, a ball on a strike. Yeah, and if you're just joining us, you have missed a lot of fireworks. 11-5 Reds. They scored 9 runs in the 4th inning to overcome a 5-2 deficit. There's a ball hit down towards Bell. He'll go to Oster. Oster over to first baseman Francona. Double play. 5 to 4 to 3. There's that sinker ball, and there's that sidearm. Good pitch by Frank Williams. Good turn of the double play by Ronnie Oster. We go into the bottom of the 5th inning. Reds leading 11-5. Reds leading 11-5. 9 hits apiece for both ball clubs. We've seen 3 pitchers for the Montreal Expos. Yeomans, Campbell, and McGaffigan. There's Ziggy. A little shot. And there's the ball right there. It's a double play, Joe.
Excellent turn by Oster. You can see here the runner is right on him, Wallach, but he just turns that thing so easily when he gets a good throw from either Buddy or Barry Larkin. You know, there's a better one in baseball. I want to see him.
That's right, Joe. We've seen some good ones. Mazeroski or Tommy Helms was awfully good at turning the double play here in Cincinnati. And Ronnie does it. And, of course, Pete really brags on him about his defense. He does an excellent job of that. McGaffigan works to Francona. Terry with a 2-run homer. Well, it was just last inning. After Bo Diaz had driven in a run, he hit a 2-run homer right out of here. Off-speed pitch, fouled down in the dirt and back. No balls and 2 strikes. Francona 1 for 2 on the day. And 2 RBIs. We had a single, a home run, a double, a single, a home run, and a double in that inning. Oh, he right off the end ball. Cute. They're going to have to let it go. It's going to hit the bag. No, just missed it, but it's a base hit. Boy, you're talking about a ball club when you... It's frustrating. I mean, this infield variety hits. Buck Rogers saying, what else? We've seen nothing but explosions all this point. Now you see this one.
Yeah, it's a good English on it. It's carried right along the line and just misses the bag. And Tim Wallach as well. Come on, old teamy.
Here's Ronnie Oster. Didn't have the best of springs, but right now he's got a triple on a base on balls and scored 2 runs. He watches the first pitch of McGaffigan go high. Galarraga plays behind Francona. Francona having knee problems. Probably not much of a threat to run with a 6-run lead as we go in the bottom of the 5th inning. Sometimes that does cause problems. McGaffigan works to Oster again. Fastball hit hard. Right at Hubie Brooks. Boy, he laced that one right on a line. Hubie really didn't have to move. Francona didn't have time to break the wrong way. And Ronnie Oster has hit the ball hard. Still not happy. You like those base hits when you're hitting them that hard. Here's Frank Williams. He's the 3rd pitcher for the Reds. Tom Browning had trouble. 3 innings, 8 hits, 5 runs. Landrum came on. Did a good job. 3 up and 3 down. And then it was Williams. Frank looking to bunt. He does. He bunts towards 3rd base. Wallach up. He'll go to 2nd base. Hubie Brooks got it. He's going to make the transfer, folks. He's making the transfer. Don't get excited. Well, you want your pitchers to do the job, Joe.
It looked like a pretty good bunt by Frank Williams, but Wallach righted in his face, got the good hop and throwing back to Hubie Brooks. And you can see Hubie when he fields the ball. Now he's all right. Now he's taking it out. So good call by 2nd base umpire Joe West.
Well, when we get the replay board up there, then the fans here will have really an opportunity to scream. Of course, they may not show all those controversial plays. Here's Daniels. He's 1 for 2 on the day. Seemed like they batted more than that, but everybody batted around almost as 12 players went to the plate in the 4th inning. 1 for 2, RBI, stolen base. Everybody's participated today except Buddy. Buddy 0 for 3 at this point. Has participated as part of the double play. 7-3, the Toronto Blue Jays lead the Indians in the 8th inning as McGaffigan misses away. Yankees and Detroit are tied at 1 after 7. Texas and Baltimore 1-1 after 5. Chicago leads Kansas City 4-1 in the 3rd, and Milwaukee up 1-0 in the 3rd over Boston. Tabler and Snyder with home runs over there. We're doing them a little bit better over here. Fastball in the inside part of the plate. 2 balls and a strike. In Toronto, you think 7 runs for that ball club, and of course they do swing those ashes pretty good. Those different kind of bats now. We used to call them Hillard and Bradsby, and then of course you got all the other brands coming out, made over by Rawlings, Adirondacks. Now we got Mizuno's. Fastball on the inside part of the plate. Cal swings, fouls it right off his fist back into the stands, and McGaffigan gets a new pelota.
Toronto, one of the better offensive ball clubs in either league. There's no question about that with Barfield and Upshaw and Mosby. Those guys can pack them up in a hurry.
Yes, indeed. I tell you. You know, the 3 outfielders for that ball club, Joe, all were born within 2 weeks of each other.
That's right. I'm reading about that. That's amazing.
And then they have this kid, Fred McGriff, that we saw down in spring training, hit 7 or 8 home runs in spring training. Barry Larkin on deck. He has a 2-run homer today. Frank Williams at first base. There's 2 outs, 3 balls and 2 strikes on Daniels. McGaffigan looks in for a sign. He gets it, now works. Daniels hits it hard and hits it fair. Well, let's see how Frank Williams runs. Billy DeMar is going to hold him up as Mitch Webster comes up with it and back gets it into Vance Law. He hit it hard. came off of the facing down there, right off of the side of the wall and right out to Webster. Another extra base hit.
Here's the pitch. Now, remember the last time, Gal hit that ball low and away into left center, and there was one in on him about belt high, and then he rips it down the right field line. This shows you what an excellent hitter he is.
There's Williams. There's Daniels. Whoever you put in left field, I think, is going to produce. Daniels right now off to a great start, and McGaffigan tries to pitch away to Larkin. Bill Campbell hung a screwball inside, and Barry took it right on out of here. He hit it hard in the first inning, took Alonzo Powell to the wall, hit a real hard shot at Hubie Brooks that he was unable to come up with it, and it was Brooks was charged with an error, and then hit the home run in the fourth. Comfortable at the plate. Make sure they're loose. 2 balls, no strikes. Well, pitch around him if you want to. Dave Parker's on deck. Nobody's in the bullpen. 2-0. Could make this a real good day, couldn't he? Well, 3-0 now as he misses down and away, and Parker waits on deck, just hoping that he go ahead and loads him up. He said, I'd like to get in some more of these RBIs. I don't have any as of yet. He's got a double. There's a fastball upstairs. Now he's going to get a chance. Base on ball. To Barry Larkin. Well, they're all filled up. 2 rows. Dave Parker to go ahead and blow him away. Take him right on out of here if you can. Make this a real spectacle. There you see the runners. There you see the black bat held menacingly by Dave Parker. Oh, he got him with a sinker down and in. He was trying. Think he was going for it?
I think so. I think he really was trying to hit that ball about on Broadway in Lexington, Kentucky. He's going to hit it right over Newport and Covington and all those folks over there.
Well, McGaffigan had a little sneery look at him. Didn't hold it too long. Fastball in, or will it be the changeup? He's going to try to go in with a fastball. Parker now 1-1 as McGaffigan misses up and in, and there you see in the bullpen Sorensen, Larry warming up down there. McGaffigan works again, foul back, fastball upstairs. Well, the pitcher doesn't like anybody swinging that hard. No matter who it is, they start thinking about it, and they start trying to tell you about it. He missed it up and in, and then had to come back. 1 ball and 2 strikes, 2 out here. The Reds trying to add on to this 11-5 lead. The bases are loaded. Dave Parker right now without an RBI. He's 1 for 3 on the day. Double his last time up. Now asked Bob Engel for time as McGaffigan, unsure of the sign that he wanted, had to go through a couple of different sequences. Outfield straight away. Pulled around a little bit to right is Alonzo Powell. McGaffigan works again, and it's popped up over the third base dugout, and they'll tell Tim Wallach not to make the effort. Nice crowd on hand. A few empty seats as we look around. Of course, they're filled in different spots, but we see a lot of empty red seats. Either people are very happy with the 11-5 lead, and they've decided to take warmer areas or find a warmer stool somewhere. Here's McGaffigan's pitch, and it's a check swing, but he went. Got him on strikeouts. On a strikeout. Parker goes down. The Reds don't score anything. They get only one hit in the inning, but they had a lot of excitement going. No runs on one hit. There were no errors, and they had 3 men left on base. After 5 complete innings of play, it's the Reds 11, the Expos 5. Jeff Reed stands in as Frank Williams working his second inning. Reed 0 for 2 on the day. Flew out to open the second inning, popped up to shortstop, and then in the third, batted again and flew out to center field. Williams gets behind in the count, 1 ball, gets away. Now he works back, fouled back into the lower blues. Let's pause 5 seconds for stations to identify themselves on the Cincinnati Reds Baseball Network.
Channel 5, WLWT, Cincinnati.
Williams works back to Reed, and Reed hits it into right field. Base hit. Dave Parker over to pick it up. Hit right off the end of the plate, and that's the first National League hit for Jeff Reed. He's had a rough day trying to throw out these speedsters and calling those pitches some long innings. I feel sorry for those catchers. You know how I am.
Yeah. You guys really have...
You probably feel sorry for Brownie.
I absolutely do.
Sure,
Joe.
Joe.
Brownie's not happy with himself, but I know one thing, he's happy with that 11 up there.
Yes, he is. He was thinking, if I'd have just held on to one more inning.
I've experienced that now, I'll tell you.
Williams works down and in.
Boy, it is.
Reed Nichols.
Coming back like that. You ought to... There he is. Right there, TV hangs around, popping those sunflower seeds.
Ball into the air to straightaway center field. Davis backpedaling a couple. He's there. Yeah, he is pulling for the team, and I guess that's enough to bring out anybody. That 9 runs. Most runs given up in any inning last year that the Reds had was 6, you say?
And the biggest inning last year was 6.
Well, biggest inning. Already the first game of the season, we got 9. Here's an old Red, good friend. Tom Foley. Foley, of course, the shortstop that Davey Concepcion suppressed and wouldn't let play for many years. Now Tom, who went over to Philadelphia, now playing with the Montreal Expos. Saw a lot of action last year as Hubie Brooks went down with the injury, and here he comes up to face Frank Williams. Well, Larry Sorensen probably will come in now to pitch. Slider on the outside part of the plate. Good pitch. Started it out away and then brought it back in.
Frank has worked real hard, John, on his slider and trying to get a little more down break on it. It was really very flat and trying to just get a little down break on it. And so far it's worked.
Oh, double play, is it? Yes! Well, he jammed it with the fastball on the inside part of the plate. He tried to fight it off. There's Buddy Bell, threw it offhand. We'll see it as we come back at the end of this bottom half of the 6th inning. We'll just tell you right now that the Reds are leading 11-5. In the bottom of the 6th inning, Reds leading 11-5, and well, some fine defensive work turned in by, how often do you see this? The man who really did it leading off. There's a ball, sort of check swing, and you're talking about getting rid of it. Look at this. I mean, flip-flop and bop. A great pickup by Terry Francona, and he's able to tag Jeff Reed and get the double play. Well, Larry Sorensen is the pitcher. He's in to face Eric Davis. Hit well into center field. Another base hit for Eric Davis. He gets by. Reed Nichols, and look at him turn it on, folks. Well, Jimmy Brooks just comes up with it and says, I know I'm not going to be able to get him. We showed the picture of Buddy Bell. It was Eric Davis leading off, and then it's a 2-base error for Reed Nichols.
Now here's the pitch, and it's right there, and Eric looked like a slider that hung out over the plate, and he had a rope, and Reed Nichols, he didn't even touch the ball, I don't think. Probably Reed not particularly used to AstroTurf when it's wet, and Ball is scooted right to him. So Eric at third, nobody out, and a chance at 12 runs.
I used to run like that, 1 foot in front of the other.
Finger? Grade school in Finger?
Yeah, I would have done like that, but they wouldn't let me run barefoot here in
I told you
Cincinnati.
about the time I stopped in Finger, I didn't see any footprints of Johnny Bench running.
Buddy Bell, well, you saw him play defensively. He's turned 2 double plays today, but that still doesn't help an 0 for 4 an awful lot. He's pleased about the Reds. He doesn't argue about the fact that he loves to win, but boy, he'd like to see and there's an RBI sitting right there in front of you. Hits the first pitch, hits it right on the nose. Wallach has it, and Davis has no place to go. Here's Bo. Bo has an RBI on a single in the 4th inning. He struck out to end the inning in that 4th inning. 1 for 3 on the day. And Sorensen works in, misses with a pitch for a ball. Brett's hit a home run. Hergen's hit a home run. Mosby and Upshaw, we talked about them. We knew that somebody had to hit a home run for them. Here's a ball hit right back at Sorensen, and he's got him. Got him trapped. Wallach is going to throw to Reed. Reed's going to throw back. He's going to tag him as Hubie Brooks. Well, he tried to break. He got caught right in the middle. I think if he'd have just turned around and hustled back and tried to make Sorensen make that play, might have been a little bit different.
Here's a look at it, and I think seeing the ball off of the right of the mound, Eric thought he could make it, but Sorensen feeling the ball and getting Davis trapped. He does a good job in getting Bo down to second. You see him there waving at Bo to go on down, and Hubie Brooks, after tagging, Eric looked to second, but there's not a soul there.
1 to 5 to 2 to 6 is the out on Eric Davis. Diaz stands at second. Terry Francona, 2-run homer in the 4th inning. Had an infield hit on a a cube swing. He hit right off the end of the bat. Wallach was unable to play it, so he had to let it roll, hoping it would go foul, and Terry 2 for 3 on the day. Sorensen looking back at Diaz, now pitches and fouled over towards the dugout at first base. Tony Perez not about to even make a move for that ball. Both hands in those pockets. He says it's not this cold in Puerto Rico. He's seen enough cold days up here in Cincinnati, and there you see the crowd. There you see some of the wet turf as we have experienced rain. And then you see the dry part where the tar pads. Here's Francona. Sorensen at the stretch. Ball hit right back at Sorensen. He lobs it over to Galarraga, and just like that, it's a 1-3 play. Diaz dies at second base. The Reds had a hit out of Eric Davis as they leave one. They do not score. And after 6 complete innings of play, the Reds lead the Expos 11-5.
Once
Lead 11-5. There's Carol Rose. She seems happy about it. And Frank Williams working again. This time he leads off with a ball inside to Alonzo Powell. Powell 1 for 3 on the day. He doubled in the 2nd inning. Misses with a fastball inside. 2 balls and no strikes. Well, the crowd kind of milling around here. They've seen a lot of runs. They're a little bit cold. My feet up here are getting a little bit cold too, Joe.
Oh, I wore my heavy socks.
Popped up in the infield. Well, now it's in the outfield. Who's going to call it? Daniel, stay out of there as Eric Davis makes it. Last year, thousands of runners participated in the Reds Pepsi home run. And this year's 5th anniversary mini marathon will provide all the excitement you can get from this unique afternoon. In addition to their free tickets to the Reds-Astros doubleheader on April 19th, runners get a newly designed T-shirt, a free Pepsi at the game, and the thrill of finishing in front of thousands of spectators. If you've not already registered for this year's Reds Pepsi home run, sign up at the stadium on race day beginning at 11 a.m. You running in that, Joe?
No, I didn't have time to train. Didn't have time to train this year.
Frank Williams deals to Mitch Webster. Webster with 2 for 3 on the day. Had a home run, pops this one foul. Ronnie Robinson warming up in the Reds bullpen. See the ball dropping back in the crowd. Williams has pitched, this is 2 innings, 2 1/3 now. I'm sure that they're satisfied with him if he can finish up 3 innings, don't you think, Joe?
Oh, absolutely. He has done the bullpen has done a super job. Bill Landon, 3 retired 3 in a row, and Frank came on in the 5th, and he's done a good job, allowed a couple of hits, but he's been helped by a couple of double plays.
Ball misses down and in. Ball and 2 strikes. Williams works from the stretch. This also down and in. Trying to get Webster to chase one of those breaking balls. Not giving in to him. Of course, no balls and 2 strikes is the time to try to make those pitches. Ronnie Robinson probably will be the pitcher, as Williams would be the second batter in the 7th inning. Foul back into the stands again. Big redhead. Had his father down there. Did you shake hands with his father?
Yeah, it's like putting your hands around a tree trunk.
Well, you're talking about Clue's twin almost.
He's a boss.
Say, Bill Robinson?
I believe that's it.
I believe that might be right. Williams works again. He got him with a slider right down on the knees, and he didn't like it. Says something basically under his breath to Bobby Engel. So let's take a look at this.
There's that slider we were talking about, John, and just a little bit of a breakdown to it. See it right there, and that's what Frank has been working on this spring. And the only thing that Mitch might have thought, the ball was a little low, but
well,
as
the slider
a pitcher,
carried
we
the glove
accept
down
it.
a little bit. The slider did carry the glove down a little bit.
As a hitter, you question it.
I think it's a good pitch. Off-speed pitch. Galarraga looks at. It's inside. Andres hit a double to center field the 1st inning. Hit back to the pitcher in the 2nd, then grounded to 3rd in the 4th. He bats in the 7th and looks at a breaking pitch out over the plate. Ball for a strike, ball 1 and strike 1. How about that? Friendly market. Their efforts in making the 67th opening day parade a great success. Foul back. The big cat. First baseman, Andres Galarraga. Well, we've had a lot of extra base hits today. 22 hits for both teams. 16 runs, 3 errors. This is we've had 7 pitchers work, and there's another base hit. The Expos 11th as Galarraga lines a single into center field. Eric Davis over to pick it up very quickly and get it back in. And here's Hubie Brooks, who looked at 3 pitches basically, especially the last 2.
You have to like Galarraga, a young kid, swings the bat very well and great power, and I think he's going to be a big man for the Expos as he goes through his career.
Another breaking ball over the plate. Hubie Brooks looks at it, and of course, with Andre Dawson not coming back, a lot of offensive pressure rests on the shoulder of Andres Galarraga, and this time Hubie Brooks didn't have any problem picking up Williams. Williams had trouble picking up Brooks as he bounced from between his legs on a line into center field, and 2 men on base. Robinson warming up. I don't think that Pete wants to go to him, and with a 6-run lead, he'll probably try to stay with Williams as long as he can. But of course, he's not going to take any chances. This is a big hitter for Frank Williams, and Wallach working on a 1,000 day. Now, Russell Frank from Cincinnati has attended 59 opening days. Catherine Frank, 39. She's only 39 years old. Big Reds welcome to WLWT TV 5, seated in the left field garden area today. That figures. Tony's out there enjoying himself. Jim Lina, Mr. Bartlett. I can call Mr. Lina Jim because he's my neighbor. Can I call him? Maybe I shouldn't call him that at work, though, huh? He and Joanne, Jennifer. Hope that's not the way I got the job. I hope people don't think that. Here's Williams, men at 1st and 2nd. Galarraga at 2nd, Brooks at 1st. Ooh, excuse me, Jackie Moore. Didn't fool him that much. Technical director, Ron Whitaker. How many years for this? 31? 31 years. Well, he looks old. He looks old. I thought he looked old. Well, of course, he could have started when he was 5 or 6. That's a tradition here. Here's Wallach looking for Frank Williams' pitch. He got it inside, and Williams gets a strike call from Bobby Engel. Wallach either was fooled by the pitch or didn't like the pitch. In any event, Williams goes ahead in the count of 2 strikes. Wallach with an RBI, 2 singles and a double, and he got him with a curveball. Well, he got a good breaking ball. 3rd strikeout for Williams, and boy, did it come at a good time. A real good effort by Frank Williams. Faces 11 hitters, doesn't give up any runs. He holds them right there, and the Reds lead 11-5. Ronnie Oster leads off the bottom of the 7th inning. Grounds to Andres Galarraga. Did he get a little help on that? Let's just say unassisted. I'm starting to look at the fans around here. Everybody waving, having a good time for the 7th inning stretch. And here's Lloyd McClendon. Gary, Indiana. There's got to be a lot of people right now happy.
The folks look at everybody, isn't they? The new players. Leo Garcia drove in a run. Here's Lloyd McClendon. Paul O'Neill drove in a run. So shot at Lloyd McClendon. I'll tell you.
He'll probably bust him in with a fastball now, and then he's going to try that slider away, and he better not hang it. He may thrill a few people with it. Ball hit on the ground at Hubie Brooks. Brooks up with it over to Galarraga, and 2 quick outs for the Reds. Larry Sorensen. Well, that brings up Cal Daniels. Daniels on the day. Grounded to first. Flew to left field and had a single off in the 4th inning. He had a double in the 5th inning. And here he bats in the 7th inning. 2 for 4 on the day. And a stolen base to go with an RBI. Got a left-hander down in the bullpen for the Reds. Got 2 right-handers working for the Montreal Expos. Who is that, Joe?
John, I think you might see Robinson maybe working 1 or 2 innings, and Murphy or Johnny Franco also getting into it. I'm sure Murph will work an inning. Franco did not work yesterday. He worked the day before, so Pete and Scotty trying to, I'm sure, get a little work in for both Robbie and Murphy. Now, we might be wrong. We know Robinson's going to
I don't
pitch,
think you're going to
sure.
see Franco.
No.
I got a feeling. I hope we don't see him. Here's Sorensen. He had Daniels out front. This time he throws him another breaking ball. Very well traveled. The bespectacled Cal Daniels. There you see some of the crowd. A little cool breeze whipping around here. Missed with a fastball down and away. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Here on a very overcast and no longer rainy, although we had a lot of rain this morning. Very muddy along the warning tracks. And Sorensen gets him with a changeup. Strikeout for Cal Daniels. First strikeout for Larry Sorensen. 7 innings are complete in the book. Daniels goes out. And Joe goes out, as a matter of fact. Marty Brennan will be back over here. We'll be back as the Reds lead 11-5.
I remember my...
Marty, we're right here with you. We got rid of you a while ago, got 9 runs. No, we're not giving you, I'm not blaming you
Yes,
for that.
you are.
Well, maybe a little bit. Was it just as fun over there?
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. This is very, very enjoyable.
We've seen some extra base hits. We've seen stolen base. We've seen speed. And now we got Ronnie Robinson in the game. Ronnie, of course, now doing the job for the Reds as we got a good effort by Frank Williams.
Absolutely. 3 shutout innings turned in by the former San Francisco Giant, and now hopefully Ron can come on and close the deal here with the Reds in front 11-5. Vance Law 1 for 3, a 3rd inning double, and he has just fouled the first pitch off. What an offensive explosion in the 4th inning. One ball, 1 strike. That's in for strike 2 called. Reds have used Browning, Landrum, and Williams. And the bullpen that we talked so much about during spring training has certainly come full force here today. as Landrum and Williams combined for 4 shutout innings after the Expos really went to work early against starter Tom Browning. 2-2. Law at the plate. He'll be followed by catcher Jeff Reed, who is getting things in order over there.
Franco was warming up in the bullpen, Marty, and I didn't think we might see him. Murphy was down there. I thought maybe we might see him come in and maybe pitch the 9th inning, get 1 inning apiece. But maybe Franco, because of the day off tomorrow, and he did not pitch yesterday, maybe wants to give him an inning. Joe said that, but I didn't. I said, I don't think we'll see him today.
Full count now, 3-2. A little bit nippier, isn't it?
Yeah, my feet.
I'm getting ready to say, you're doing your soft shoe
I'm
routine.
doing my soft shoe. That's from those foul tips. The old feet, after those 6 broken bones in each foot, foul tips, they're the first to go.
Old age has nothing to do with that, I'm sure.
It has nothing to do with it whatsoever, Marty. Fortunately for me.
I didn't think so, John.
Otherwise, you would be all shriveled up.
I've been accused of...
Who were you telling? You were talking about Tony Kiernan the other day. That's who you were talking about, being older than you were. You really...
You're speaking of Rooster Kiernan. Vance Law strikes out swinging. Tony has acquired
You're very secure in your job, aren't you?
a new nickname.
Robinson, well, he took a long time to do it, but he finally got Vance Law. Vance fouled off a couple of pitches, and then he chased this fastball that was out of the strike zone.
Good start for Ron Robinson. And here's Jeff Reed, who had a base hit, his first in the National League in the 6th inning. Strike to him.
Pretty good breaking ball right there.
Yep, he's got a dandy, boy, I'll tell you.
If pressed, he may be in the starting rotation. Maybe. Does anybody know that, though? Wait a minute. We're hesitating.
No, yeah, you bring up an awfully good point. In all seriousness, I know Ron has his heart set on being one of the 2 short men. Larkin will put that away routinely for the 2nd out, but should the Reds run into any starting problems in their rotation, I think that's a natural man to turn to.
Well, you like to have that flexibility. He said he just wanted to know which he was going to be, and he's very flexible. He has started, but on rare occasions, but he's such a good man to have on that bullpen. We've already taken Ted Power out of the bullpen and in the starting rotation, and Ronnie Robinson proving that he is very capable out there.
Now Reed Nichols with 2 down and nobody on in a very quiet Montreal 8th inning. Make that Herm Winningham.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Bounces to first, and Francona takes care of it. Winningham retired in his first at-bat, and Robinson throws a perfecto in the 8th. At the end of 7 1/2, the Reds in front, 11-5.
8th inning, the Reds lead 11-5 over the Houston Astros, and the Reds' 87 schedule features lots of Super X Senior Citizen Specials. And there's one coming up this Wednesday, April the 8th, against the Expos at 12:35. Veteran Reds fans 65 years old and over may buy either box or reserve seat tickets at half price in advance of game day, thanks to Super X Drugstore. Make plans now to see all the upcoming Super X Senior Citizen Specials, including Wednesday, April 8th against the Expos. In other words, if you buy tomorrow or today, it's half price.
And, you know, you probably qualify. So I want you to hustle down.
I'll tell you
and
what,
pick up
you'd
those
love
tickets.
to have my energy.
Oh,
my body.
I have your energy. I don't quite measure up in the other area.
Well, you have to have a lot of energy to bounce back and forth from the TV to the radio. And one thing about it, you were blessed with the gift of gab.
Oh, now you weren't. Good.
No, I've had to work at this. I've had to work at this.
You accomplished. You acquired the ability to speak well about as easily as you acquired the ability to catch. You're still improving on the former area. That's the gift of gab.
I hope so.
Here's Barry Larkin. He has had one of the 3 home runs the Reds had hit here this afternoon, and the first pitch to him is in there for a strike.
Jeff Parrott is the pitcher. We've seen Johnny Holstaff, we call it. That means everybody on the staff has pitched today. He's the 5th pitcher for the Montreal Expos, and we've got another one warming up on the bullpen. He may pitch tonight.
I hope he doesn't have to pitch tonight. That's strike 2 call.
Well, you never know. They want to get a little extra work in. Well, he's just working on technique. You're right. That would be kind of silly. He's pitching tonight.
That'd be catastrophic if he turns out to pitch in the bottom half of the 9th inning. Larkin takes just outside.
Parrott hesitated. He thought it was a good pitch.
Right now, Jeff Parrott is going to be the closer for this club due to the fact that the guy they had figured on, Tim Burke, is open the year on a disabled list. Parrott's 1-2 pitch, and Larkin is out on strikes. Parker's had one of the 12 Cincinnati hits. That was a two-base hit, I should say, in the 4th inning. He's 1 for 4, and this is the opening game of the season.
Talking about a brown pair of shoes. That's what Buddy Bell feels like today.
You're right.
2 sparkling defensive plays, but he'd like to, I'm sure, have one more trip. I'm not sure if an 0 for 5 day is, that might be the worst thing that you could come up with today.
The 0-1 delivery. Parrott's getting it up there pretty well.
Yes, he is. Not hesitating about it either.
Of course, the advantage he has is that the Reds have never seen him before, because up until his acquisition by the Expos, he had pitched in the American League exclusively. Law throws Parker out. 2 away. One of the 2 other National League games has now gotten underway. They played an inning and a half at Candlestick, and the San Diego Padres, on a Carmelo Martinez home run, lead the Giants with manager Roger Craig 1-0. Well, let's see if Eric Davis can finish off a perfect afternoon. He has homered, walked, singled, and singled again. Has scored 3 times and has stolen 2 bases.
I call that a good day.
I would concur wholeheartedly. 2-0. Larry Sorensen did a good job for the Expos. 2 innings. He allowed 1 hit and chalked up a strikeout. And Parrott has retired the first 2 in the 8th. Ball 3. Did you turn him loose here now with a 6-run lead in the 8th?
No way, Jose.
I'll vote your way.
No. Just make sure you stay loose. That's all. In case the pitch gets away. Don't act like you just want to take it nonchalant, because after that good of a day, you don't necessarily want to just stand there and say, I'm going to take it, because sometimes the ball is up and in.
You've been there.
Be loose. That's right. Be loose.
Well, old Bud gets one more crack at him.
Come on, buddy.
Oh, you Bud. He's 0 for 4.
Started hitting the ball well in the last few games of spring training, and comes in here. Yeah. Got the collar right now, and that'll make it even worse.
Headed toward Winningham in center. The Reds are gone in the 8th inning. 3 up, 3 down. We've got an inning to go. Hopefully only a half inning. With a score at the end of 8, Reds 11 and the Expos 5. And Nico comes in now to face a pinch hitter to lead off the 9th inning for the Montreal Expos. It'll be Casey Candell. John Franco, whose last spring training appearance turned out to be a rough one. That was on Saturday in Nashville when he gave up 3 hits and 3 runs, 2 earned in the 9th to allow this club to come back and take the lead. He delivers to Candell's strike call. Jeff Parrott works an inning, strikes out a batter, walks a batter. That's who Candell bats for. 1 ball, 1 strike. One and 2. There's the leadoff batter, Alonzo Powell. A lot of folks trying to get an early break out of here. They'll be going home very, very pleased with what started out to be a very long afternoon, but boy, it's turned into a good one. 2-2. Montreal got 2 in the first, 2 in the second, 1 in the third to lead 5-1 after 2.5. But then the Reds got 1 in the third and 9 runs in the 4th inning. And nobody has scored since then. Headed toward Parker. 1 gone.
Well, we've seen good relief pitching basically on both sides. Sorensen came in and did a real nice job. Parrott picked up an inning. For the Reds, it was Landrum and Williams, Robinson, and now Franco. We talked about the Reds bullpen all spring long about how good and solid they were, and we hope they don't have to see this much action.
Boy, that's the truth. Alonzo Powell on his first big league hit back in the second. That was a double, and Franco just threw the first pitch by him.
Well, Eddie Sutton still stays in there. Into the 4th quarter and a 20-point lead, you never know, he said.
Yes, sir. 1 ball, 1 strike.
He's probably happy to be sitting there with a little lead. He's not used to seeing that and feeling so comfortable.
And you saw him there with a fellow who has a common interest, and that's Kentucky basketball. And A.B. Happy Chandler, who threw out our ceremonial first pitch. There's Happy. What a man he is.
Is he a beauty?
He is something
He
else.
is one of the all-timers, folks. One to be respected.
Franco lets it fly. 2-2.
Commissioner, governor.
Failed to mention earlier when we had our first shot at Eddie Sutton way back in the early innings, he was here initially. I don't know whether his son Sean has taken off, but Sean Sutton, quite a basketball player, and will be playing for his dad at the University of Kentucky.
I think it'd be tough having your son play for you. I mean, it's happened like Tarkanian's son played for him.
Danny Tarkanian, of course,
Maravich.
that was probably the first big one. And Chris Maravich will tell you it's no day at the beach to coach your son. I would imagine it would be tougher when you've got a great player like Pete Maravich was, and he was a perfectionist as his dad was.
How about Pistol on the 3-point line?
Oh.
He scored 63 points that one night against either Vanderbilt, I think it was, one of those ball clubs. And they figured out that if they'd had the 3-point shot, he would have scored 93.
Good gracious. Well, Alonzo Powell taking a shot at us up here. 2-2, 1 out, top of the 9th inning. Reds 2 outs away from nailing down a big win.
Okay? I am not going after these foul balls. I know you're going to think that I am, but I'm too worried about my golf.
I'll tell you what now. You got to take one for the team every now and then. I mean, if one comes up here.
Are you saying you're not involved?
Well, I mean, you've put down my physical stature already today.
Well, it wasn't demeaning. I mean, it wasn't that type of thing. I said you would like to have the kind of, well, maybe not. Because you can buy clothes off the rack.
I certainly can, thank goodness. Here's Mitch Webster. One ball, no strikes, 2 out. Bases empty. Webster taking 2-0. Buddy Bell shallow at third base. And it's 3 balls and no strikes. So Franco probably a little itchy to get this thing over and done with, is yet to throw a strike to Mitch Webster. There it is. Three balls, 1 strike. Buddy Bell to Terry Francona. And this one belongs to the Reds. Johnny Franco receiving congratulations from his teammates. The Reds rallying from an early 5-1 deficit. And when they exploded big time with